There's a section in the book of Ezekiel where the prophet says that God, or a person from God, kind of like gives him a tour of the temple. And at one point, it's in chapter 47, the man from God takes Ezekiel back around to the entrance of the temple and shows him that there's water trickling out from the threshold of the temple. And basically God says this water, it's coming from south of the altar inside the temple, and it's trickling out. If you're familiar with the story, you know he takes Ezekiel, the prophet, and they go like 100 yards out, and the water is ankle deep, just keeps getting deeper. Another 100 yards is knee deep. Another 100 yards, waist deep. They go out further, and it's like it's this river, deep enough to swim. A river that couldn't be crossed. And the thing about it is, this water flows east out of the temple into the Arabah region, which means the wilderness, and into the sea of stagnant waters, which we know from looking at a map. If you go east, the sea of stagnant waters is the Dead Sea, like nothing lives there. 2 times in this story, God says, wherever the river goes, this river that flows out of the sanctuary of God, wherever this river goes, everything will live. Takes Ezekiel along the banks of the river, just like what we're doing. And there's all these fruit trees. And they're never out of season. There's always fruit on them, and the leaves are for healing. And it says the fish, like this, the sea of stagnant waters comes alive. And now there's just every kind of fish that you can imagine now in the Dead Sea. He says it's all because this water, this healing, flows from the sanctuary. This is a spot where we do baptisms. This coming Sunday is Baptism of the Lord Sunday. So I wanted us to come and have our prayer time out here, because what we're going to be doing is we're going to remember our baptism. And Jesus comes out of the water and he hears God's voice, and it's an affirming voice. This is my beloved son. You are my beloved son, in whom I'm well pleased. I hope that when we remember our baptism on Sunday in our sanctuaries, that we'll hear God's voice too, and we'll have that affirmation that we are beloved, and that God calls us. You know, the thing about our baptismal vows is that it's an ordination into ministry. And so in the same way that this river flows out of the temple into the stagnant, dark wilderness places and brings things to life, that's what our baptism is about. Not only that God claims us and loves us and holds us close, but that God sends us too. And that's the hope that the world has. Jesus said he was at a festival, and at the end of this festival, the crowds around him, he says, out of the believer's heart will flow rivers of living water. It's pretty cool stuff. I'm really glad that you have joined me for our prayer time. This is an important time for us. It's 20 degrees out here, or I might even get in the water and talk about baptism, but I'm not doing that. But we are by the baptismal waters to remember our friends in prayer, and I appreciate your commitment to be a part of that. Our somewhat new prayer requests, we've been praying for Bill Driver's mother, Betty, and she passed away on Saturday. She had been battling Parkinson's, and there will be a funeral service for her on Thursday at 2 o'clock at Beaver Dam United Methodist Church, which is where Betty and her husband Dave were members. Reverend Becky Brown will be officiating the service. So we pray for Bill and Hallie, and Emery and Owen are the grandchildren. I actually received a text on the prayer phone from one of you, and you shared that Betty was an educator in Haywood County for over 30 years. She touched countless lives in this county with her passion for teaching, learning, and helping others. So whoever you were, thank you for sharing that. Colton Shell, we've been praying for Colton, 16 years old. He passed away on Thursday. And so our prayers are with his family, Matt and Lucy, his parents, Ed and Linda McFarland, are his grandparents. Some good news: Anita Strick-Callison had successful knee replacement surgery last Friday, January the 3rd. Maybe that was Thursday. We've been praying for Jim Hoyt. His daughter-in-law, Nancy's sister, passed away from a battle with cancer. We've been praying for Lyric, a 7-year-old boy who was having seizures, was in Mission. They diagnosed him with pneumonia. Well, he's home now. So we're excited that he's home. Prayers for Charles Matlack and his family. Charles's sister passed away on Thursday evening of January 2nd. We've been praying for many of you with ongoing health issues. Bob Bonson, Kim Shipman has surgery scheduled for January the 20th. Roger Bard, Alan Livingstone, Mark Bumgarner, Teresa Pennington, Mary Funderburk, Rob Blackburn, George Thompson, Phyllis Bryan, Rebecca Beaver, Ken Vanderlaan, Mary Ellen Allen. Sad to report that Peggy Melville's friend Dorothy Braxton passed away after a battle with cancer. Peggy actually has a couple of other friends who have passed away, and so just special prayers for her. You know, it's tough when we lose people that we love, and I know many of us are dealing with that today. Lynn Crossman, Preston Tinsley. May God hold all of you close. Bring the healing that you need. We pray our list of those of you receiving treatments: Tom Massey, Brenda Griswold, Nancy Ray, Ann Dismuke, Rob Klauser, Ted Neighbor, Christopher Holt, Reed Taylor, Sandy Brady. We pray for Stephen, Mike, Scott, May, Laura, Joe, Carly, Irene Noland, Pat Maroney, Barbara Malden's sister, Lolly Hoover, Kyle Thomason, Chris Eulery, Chris and Jim Donahue, Susie Ward, Craig Iverson, John Ballantyne, Katie's Aunt Joe. You all can contact me with the Congregational Care phone, or if you have my cell phone, you can certainly call Alex with any updates on our list, any that we need to add to that. Please do so. I pray that the Lord will bless you and keep you, that the Lord will make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you, that the Lord will lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. God bless you and be at peace. Thanks for being here today.